Hello again. It's me, Alexis, and I wanted to hop in real quick because I know, I talked about it a little bit in my last video, but if you're one of those people who has been applying and applying and applying, I mean like 20, 30, 40, 50 plus applications a day, this video might be for you because I was doing the same thing. And I can't, I don't think I can understate how important alignment was for me when it came to my job search. And I know alignment is one of those like buzzwords right now that's getting thrown out at like the drop of a hat. Literally, people will be like, okay, but does this meal align with you? And it's like, let me eat my chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. Anywho, so when I look back at my own job search, and for a little bit of context, I've been at my current job for just over a year and a half now, after searching for like almost a year and then taking a month to take it really seriously, and kind of switch things up a bit. But alignment was really important for me because basically what I started doing is, instead of applying to 50 jobs a day, literally at one point I was on every job board applying to whatever opening they had, doing all the things that you're supposed to do, tailoring your resume, doing a cover letter, all that stuff, and was getting zero traction. Like, inbox full of thank you for your interest. Excuse me. Thank you for your interest in such and such a job. We've decided to go with a different, you know the spiel by now, right? They're all so generic, or most of them are so generic. But what I started doing specifically when it came to alignment is thinking about what was most important for me in my next role. And I want you to take a minute to do it as well, right? Like, I just tried to push up my glasses. Okay, we're gonna keep it pushing. Is think about what's important to you in your next role. So let's say you're somebody whose goal is to pay off your student debt, or pay off your car or your whatever in the next year or two, and you're like, I just need the highest salary possible. Let's say you're someone who is a caregiver and you need some flexibility in your working hours so that you can care for your loved one during certain hours and then work in kind of off hours. Maybe you have kids and you're like, hey, it's a really big priority for me to be able to take them to school, pick them up from school, and take them to like whatever lessons. Maybe it's especially important to you that they have, good internal programs for leveling up your career, like a very clear, like path to promotion. Whatever it is for you, maybe it's PTO time, maybe it's, medical, dental, vision, whatever that is for you. I want you to, one, write it down, and then two, only target companies that have those things. So it might be worth it for you. And this is what I did. I went through, Built-in is one of the main ones that I used. And on that website, you can look at all the tech companies that are hiring and filter them by whatever the benefit is. So maybe it's, unlimited PTO, for example. Maybe it's medical, dental, vision. Maybe it's flexible work schedule. Maybe it's 100% remote. And then I would also look on LinkedIn, and anytime I saw someone posting about like, hey, I really appreciate XYZ about this company, and it was something that aligned with the values that I had written down, I would take a note of that company and immediately look at what openings they had. And then what that enables you to do is, rather than applying to 50 jobs and, trying to tailor your resume to every single one and try to speak to everybody from every industry, from every market it just doesn't work these days. And I think especially right now, again, when the job market is this bad and you have 1,000 people applying to the same job, you need an edge to make you stand out. And this is something that I realized, again, during that month that I was like, okay, something needs to change. So essentially what I did is I did what I just told you. Wrote down what my absolute needs were, wrote down what my goals were for the next job that I was looking for, took note of those companies. If they had openings, I applied to them specifically, and I reached out to people saying why I applied to that job. And I think if you're a hiring manager, if you're a potential coworker, because I didn't just reach out to hiring managers, to like the decision maker. I also reached out to people who were in similar roles to the one that I was looking for. You stand out because people can tell when it's generic outreach, right? People can tell when it's like, okay, this person is desperate and they just need a paycheck, which, if we're being real, that's why all of us want a job, right? But for some reason that can be like very taboo in the job market, which is bizarre to me. But anywho, it makes it a little more authentic when you're able to pinpoint like, hey, I am really interested in the ed tech industry because I saw XYZ issue when I was in school, and I really want to help, other people to solve this problem. Or, a certain value. Like, I really, really appreciate how you value openness and open communication in the company, because that's how I've operated in these other experiences that I've had, whatever it is. And then when you reach out to them and you tell them, like, this is why I think I would be an asset to your company, you can also tie it back to your own personal values, to the things that you find important, which is a lot more impactful than just, hey, everybody, I'm looking for a job, which can also be valid. I see those LinkedIn posts. It's valid. I've done it before. But when you are trying to target your outreach, it kind of puts you at the next level of applicants, right? Like there's the people who put in the application and just leave it. There's the people who will, maybe write a little note or something on LinkedIn or an email. And then there are the people that are like, look, I'm about your company. I'm about your values. I'm about what this company does and what you're bringing to the table, and I want to be a part of this. And you want to try to, at every step of the application process, put yourself in the next level. And that's why alignment is so important. And it's interesting because in some ways you save a lot of time doing it that way. Like it might only take you a few hours, to apply to 50 jobs, let's say. And it might take you a similar amount of time to apply to 10 jobs. If you're really, really tailoring your outreach to each one, if you're really taking your time to search for the right companies that you're outbounding or, reaching out to. I also think that like something that I've learned in sales specifically is there is always some value in volume, but it will very, very rarely beat quality. It'll very rarely beat good research and personalization and really understanding who you're reaching out to, which helps when you're aligned with the company and you're aligned with the role. Yeah. So I think that's the message for today. Give it a few minutes of thought, maybe more than a few minutes, but give it some time to think about, what are you really looking for? Are you looking for a role where, you grow super fast and you're in a high growth startup and you're working long hours but you're making a lot of money? Are you looking for a role where maybe the pay is a little bit lower, but the pace is slower and you can take more time to breathe during the day? I personally am a midday nap girly. One of the things I love about this job is that as long as I don't have any meetings at 12 p.m., at 1 o'clock, I can take a nap. It's beautiful. That's something that I wanted for myself, is that flexibility. If you're looking for a remote role, that way you can go to visit your family in another state and not have to worry about, gosh, I have to take time off. But you can take your laptop with you and go visit your mom, your cousins, your aunts and uncles. You can go to the family reunion, whatever it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be really important for a lot of people to kind of ditch the quantity, just like high volumes of applying. I was gonna say of applying. I think it's gonna beat the high volume applications and applying. Two separate words, Alexis. Um, and the people that are going to win for the most part are going to be the people who kind of take a step back and put more time and effort into individual applications versus the 150 applications a day. And mind you, specifically talking about sales, I think it's probably one of the easiest jobs to get, just like brute forcing it. But I do think it applies to a lot of tech roles specifically. Like there are ways to make yourself stand out so that you're not just a number when they look on the ATS. That you're not just Sarah Smith from Minnesota or John Bob from Delaware or whatever. Like you stand out to people at the company and they can feel it, which then leads to a higher probability of you getting hired. So, a little bit of my story, a few little tips there for your own job search. It's hard out there, y'all. This economy is bad. The job market is bad. I think we could all use as many tips as possible. And I want as many people as possible to get jobs that not just are paying them, although that is important. But also align with them personally and with their lifestyle and what they want for their future, their present and their future. So, anywho, have a good one. I'll be back with more tips tomorrow. Bye.